But just how greedy can they get? Let's begin. The article says that the BBC chairs urged the government to take over its funding of its World Service, warning that financial pressure means that we have now reached a crunch point. Richard Sharp suggested that the BBC World Service, the world's largest service broadcaster in terms of reception area, could be in jeopardy without a significant funding boost. Until 2014, the UK Foreign Office funded the World Service in full, before the then Prime Minister David Cameron transferred budgetary responsibilities to the BBC and to TV licence fee payers. The BBC says it now covers more than 3/4 of the funding for the World Service, funding from the licence fee equating to around £300 million, and the rest is accounted for by the annual Foreign Office grants accounting to around £100 million. But Mr Sharp has warned that a substantial cash boost cannot be met by the corporation and is urging the government to please step in. He said in a speech to the Whitehall and Industry Group, "I believe the case is now very strong for the government to look again at taking back responsibility for funding the BBC World Service at what is a critical moment for Britain and for democracy worldwide." Democracy? Well, I personally don't think the BBC would know democracy if it came up to them and sat on their head. But of course, the grand and mighty institution is like a ravenous beast, has never been satisfied with the bountiful feast of funding it has been given from the public, and now they have the gall to demand even more from the taxpayers, while still demanding that we continue to pay their rather outdated, in my opinion, TV licence fee. It's like they're the titled prince of the media or something like that, expecting a never-ending stream of gold from the peasants' pockets. But of course, instead of a kingdom, they try and rule the airwaves and of course our TVs. Or TV watching, it is, because you can't even watch another TV channel live without actually being required to pay them, which is complete joking in my opinion as well. And don't even get me started on their hypocrisy showing adverts on the UK TV network, which to be honest they apparently own, while still expecting us to pay their dreaded TV licence fee. But in 2027, when hopefully their TV licence royal charter protection gets binned, they'll then either be forced to go the adverts or subscription route, so instead they should be planning for that rather than demanding more money from us taxpayers in what is a very sneaky way in my opinion. Last year the government added £4.1 million in emergency funding to support the Ukrainian Russian language services, which have forced a key platform in fighting back against the disinformation in the war between the two countries. But BBC Chair Mr Sharp has insisted greater investment is needed for the World Service if it is to continue competing on a level playing field. He added, the BBC reaches 3/4 of audiences in countries from India and Indonesia, but is still losing out to the likes of Russia and China, as they are outspending our World Service investment by a multiple of thousands. Now hang on a minute, sorry, is this some sort of competition about who can spend the most money or something like that? Because if anything, I think BBC, you are the ones who are probably ripping off people even more with a TV licence in the first place. But then again, in this video, it looks like the BBC boss Tim Davie himself might not be happy with what could be happening in a few years' time. Anyway, subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one.